So, it's time for another Drive Tribe Q&A. I've done a few of these, but to mix things up a bit, this time it's happening with Izzy.
Me!
Izzy, my daughter.
Yeah!
And rather than the usual, I'll ask all the questions, we're going to mix it up.
Yeah,
so
we
we
are.
we take it in turns to ask each other a question.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, who goes first?
I don't know.
Do you want to go first?
Oh,
Ask me anything you like.
I wrote some of my notes. Hang on.
What? You've written your questions down?
Yeah.
Okay, my first question. Why are you such a dweeb?
No, I'm what I would call a professional. Something that
okay.
you would never understand. God, this car's uncomfortable.
It's not just shut up. It's Martin the Subaru.
Okay.
Yep, fine.
My first question.
Yes.
If you didn't end up doing what you do now, which I'm not going to give it a name because it doesn't even have a name, what could you see yourself doing?
As a job?
Yeah.
Architect. I got into university at Canterbury to do architecture after art college and was desperate to do it, but I couldn't afford to do it.
It's very expensive.
I was so in debt from buying cars and motorcycles, I couldn't do it. So I ended up doing this.
So even now, you think you'd be an architect?
Yeah, I'd love to be.
Making buildings?
Designing them, yeah.
Wow.
And there's a big correlation with cars because their buildings are machines that work with and for people,
Yeah.
as do cars. So there is a big link there.
I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make me interesting?
Yeah.
That's not my question.
Okay.
My question for you is kind of related. This is going to sound patronising, but I'm your father. I'm allowed to patronise you.
Okay.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a fireman
Do you?
or an astronaut.
Okay. What do you want to be when you grow up? You're 23. So the world is yours, so you can do whatever you like.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know is my answer. I don't know. Well, I sort of fell into this really because I did English at uni. It'll be something creative, I think. I don't think I'd be very good at sitting at a desk doing a 9 to 5. But then I love admin. I really do. There's something about it.
What do you love about admin? That's a supplementary
because
question.
I really enjoy being given a task, and it's just given it to you, and they just say, "Okay, complete this," and you just do it. That's amazing. That's so satisfying, and it's like on my laptop and tippity tappity, and I do it. I love that. But I think probably talking big picture, it'll be something in the creative sphere, you know.
Okay.
But I don't know what exactly, and I quite like that. I think that's quite fun to not know what you want to do, because then, like you said, the world's your oyster. Okay, my question for you is, what do you see me doing in the future?
Actually,
no, reverse.
Everything you've just said, something creative. I think if you wanted to pursue something in the media, yes. But I think also, I think you're interested in business.
I do like a bit of business, yeah. Business. Deals. Money.
Yeah, I think I can see you doing that. I really could. So that would be my answer. It's not a very long answer, and you don't learn much about me. Sorry, but
sorry, it's not all about you.
well, no. But my questions to you, we learn about you. Your questions to me, you learn about me.
Oh.
Cattle grid.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But I'm really pleased to see you go in the direction you're going in, actually.
Okay, well, thanks.
Because I think it suits you, and I think I'm pleased that you're not panicking to get there. My next question for you then comes sort of off the back of that one, actually. It's kind of career-based. What's your honest feeling about cars? It's a broad question.
It is broad.
Do they matter to you beyond transport? And if so, why?
Yeah, increasingly, yes. I think, yeah. As I get older, and obviously with what I'm doing, yeah, they are. I do find them more interesting because I'm a little bit like you. I am quite interested in how things work and how I like asking stupid questions about them because I like knowing all the nitty-gritties. They're like you're just expected to know. Like, I don't know why when I press the accelerator my car goes forward. So the more you learn about it, the more it's like, oh, that's actually quite an interesting machine. Also, I like your perspective on them as ways of like individualism and expressing yourself, but I think that's difficult when cars have a big scale. In some ways they are just transport and they're A to B, and then I think if and when you get the money to choose your car, then they say a lot about you. What's frustrating is a lot of people can't choose what would express them. They have to just sort of go for what they can afford. But I think it's really interesting. And also how there's so many different little car worlds within the big car world. Like, you know, I love Formula One, and that's a very niche bit of the car world. But then also you drive every day. So I think that's quite fun. So yeah, cars are cool. And they're super quick and they're super fun, yeah. Oh God, I've got to ask something about you.
Yeah, your question, yeah, far away.
Okay, this is a father question. When you were my age-ish, did you envision yourself becoming a dad? Like, could you see yourself being a dad? And if you could, what did you think you were going to have, boys or girls?
Did I see myself becoming a dad? No, because it was just an impossibly long way off.
Yeah.
I was a late developer compared with you, but I'm a boy, I think we are.
You're an immature child.
Yes. Did I want to have boys or girls? I didn't have a view on it. I probably would have said, oh, I want sons.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very glad, A, that I didn't have sons, because I think that'd have been horrible.
Yeah, probably.
But B, that I did have daughters, because I'm one of 3 brothers, and you know, I work in what was historically a very sort of male environment.
Yeah.
And yet it gave me an opportunity to see half of humanity is female.
Yeah.
And all of humanity comes from females. So it gave me an insight into a world that I would never have seen. And watching you grow up with Willow, yeah, it really changed my view of
yeah.
women. It's really
And
important.
I always see it actually weirdly with Grandy, so with your mum, that it's really fun when she comes over and it's me, Wills and Mindy, like 3 of us, and then she comes over for like a girls' evening. So obviously she had 3 boys, so you lived in a very masculine, like male household. So yeah, I guess you now living in the opposite, like you've had us growing up and we're the girls, you know? And also, okay, you didn't have sons, but me and Wills aren't exactly girly girls. We can be, but also, you know, she loves horse ride. We're always outside.
Yeah, but I think the girly girl thing, I think, does it ever happen? Do girls still play? Because all that's doing, isn't it, is playing up to the old-fashioned, accepted societal stereotype of girls.
Yeah.
What they were expected to be. But from what I've seen watching you 2 grow up, girls aren't that. That was just...
Yeah, but I think that's because your experience with me and Wills aren't really like that. But some girls are, and not in and that's not to say it in a negative way. Some girls love the quote-unquote girly stuff, and that's fine. But I think there's quite a big spectrum of what it is to be a girl, and I mean, I like cars and golf and stuff, so I'm super cool, you know. It's your question.
Okay, my question is, growing up as the daughter of somebody on what was at the time, you know, the biggest factory entertainment show in the world, and Total Wipeout as well.
Yeah.
Was it all good, or were the bad bits of that?
I would say, obviously, because you got the Top Kid job when I was 1, so it has been my whole life, so I don't really know any different. I think as you get older, you have more of an awareness of how your life has been different, because you get more used to seeing other people's lives. When I was a child, I never thought of it. It didn't register to me. I think it's things like, of course there are perks. Of course there are perks. There are going to be, like, going to amazing things, having amazing opportunities, etc., etc. I think what you lose, like family moments. You know, we could never go bowling or something, because it wouldn't be able to happen. There'd be too many. It's also, you get very aware that people are looking at you, and obviously they're not looking at me, they're looking at you, but obviously they're looking at the sort of unit that you're around, so you get very aware of being looked at. So it's funny, because it hasn't made me really worry about my appearance. It's almost done the opposite, because I'm a bit like, we might be in Morrison's and people will recognise you and they'll come up, and I'm a bit like, well, do you know what, I'm just in Morrison's, I don't really care, this is what I look like. Tough luck. I might even be in my pyjamas.
Because you're not naturally very vain, are you?
No, but I wonder why. I wonder if that's because we've sort of grown up with people looking, and not in a bad way, just in a. Everyone does it. If it's someone you know or someone you've seen off the TV, of course you're going to look at them. That's fine. I'm not saying don't do that, but I think that's just kind of what we've grown up with. And obviously we grew up in Herefordshire, which is like a little bubble of loveliness, and everyone knows everyone since they were little. So it's never been like, oh, your dad's off the telly. It's like, oh, your dad's down the pub with my dad more. So yeah, no, it's been fine. It's fine, you're forgiven.
Thank you.
Whatever. Okay, next question.
Yes.
Did you have any idols when you were growing up? And do you have any now? Or just people you look up to?
I wasn't like a sort of 7 or 8 old thing, I want to be on the telly. I didn't, because that didn't happen to people like me, just a little kid from Birmingham. It's like I wanted to be a photographer, and I gave up simply because I didn't even try, because I just thought, well, that'll never happen to me. I don't want to do anything exciting like that.
I actually think that's one of the really positive things that's come out of social media, is the barriers to jobs like that, like creative jobs, are slowly lowering, because you can actually sit in your bedroom as a little boy in Birmingham and create content and pump it out for people to see. And actually, when you were younger, being a photographer just wouldn't have even crept into your mind. It just wouldn't be possible. And actually now, social media might be bad in some ways, but actually in some ways it's quite positive.
That's a really interesting point, and you sort of added that on to the end of my question, and it takes me into my next question, because I was going to ask you about kind of exactly that, but you already put a positive spin on it. The difference in, you know, our youths, the fact that social media, that what we're doing now, this, DRIVETRIBE, all of it, none of it existed. No internet, no sat-nav, nothing when I was a kid. Is it all for the good for your generation? Or is it overall for the good? I mean, there's bad as well.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's always going to be debated on, and people are going to have very strong opinions. But I think it's one of those things, it's like, it's here, we're going to have to deal with it, so make it positive. I don't think there's any point in ranting about how negative it is when, okay, fine, well, you need to change your perspective, you need to change the way you're using social media, we need to put more strategies and policies in to make it safer, of course, but it's like, it's so big, it's like this massive creation that's just been dropped on us. Of course there's going to be teething problems, you can't expect it to be perfect, and yeah, of course it has its negatives, but I think it really does have a lot of positives as well, especially for the creative world. I think it's changed the shape of media, especially for good and bad, don't get me wrong, but I think it's all in how you use it and how you teach children and young people to use it. Like, it should be taught in schools like subjects are, because it's here and it's here to stay. That's it.
I'm really encouraged by what you said at the beginning, which was, look, it's here now, so let's make it a good thing. Which is exactly what Mindy and I decided when I had my crash. We used those words, it's happened.
Yeah.
Let's make it a good thing. And I think it's down to us all to do that, isn't it? It can be a force for good if we make it that.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Cool, good answers. Is it your question or mine now? I love this car! Sorry.
Literally gonna have a heart attack. What was your first car when you were younger? And what was the car that you dreamed of and thought, once I buy that, I've done it?
My first car was a 1976 Toyota Corolla liftback. It was supposed to be a Ford Capri, but when my dad went to look at it, he reckoned it had been stolen. So he didn't buy it. So I had an old Toyota, which I loved it. It was my first car. It was unbelievably exciting. I wanted 911.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
Because they're built to work. I love them. I still do. That was a simple answer.
Yeah,
simple
well
question.
Sorry, my answers are really lengthy and boring. I do apologise. Yours are snappy and quick.
I think I'm arriving back at base. That concludes our question and answer. We will do another one of those, mostly because I quite like talking to Izzy anyway, because she's, despite being my daughter, quite interesting.
I'm just a genius.
And so modest.
And also,
yes,
we need to share with everyone about our podcast.
Yes, we are podcasterising together.
We podcast now.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Podding and casting. Yeah, we do. So if you want to hear more of us yakking on about important issues of the day.
Yes.
And
the world and society as a whole.
And sometimes you being quite cruel to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah.
You can hear it on Global.
Yeah, or anywhere else you get your podcasts as well.
So
professional, wasn't it? That was blooming good.
I didn't even, she sprung that on me.
Tune in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Bye.